Do you have any questions from shooting?
I guess, I mean, it's just maybe few. There are more technical or more of something
Mm-hmm.
that we might probably learn a little later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do you have a specific choice of lenses that you go with for a photo shoot, or it's
Mm-hmm.
each photo is composed in a way that you always think about different lens,
Mm-hmm.
or let's say, okay, usually when we do portraits, it's gonna be this kind of lens. If you do photo shoots, it's gonna be this kind of lens. If you do landscape, because I've read about some, like a little bit about like landscape
Yeah.
shooting,
Mm-hmm.
wider lenses obviously work better because you
Yeah.
can capture more of the landscape.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm also thinking from the concept artist point of view, sometimes wide lens is not actually, removing the scale. And it's making it feel like it's actually not as large as it's supposed to, especially something that is in the background,
Right.
Whereas more of a long lens will make you feel like a character is really small against that big mountain, right? And then you get to see the scale. Okay, this mountain is huge. But I'm just guessing, like, how, like, do you have a set of lenses? How, do you plan what lenses you're gonna use, or it's more of as you go? I guess the more I learn from you, it's just I more realize like how many things are actually planned ahead.
Yeah.
Where I just like always assume like, oh, this is just like you show up, it's just like, yeah, I have a camera, I place it on the tripod and just do a couple of shots, dress that model, and that's it.
Yeah, not so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why even more, I think people who do really good documentary or journalistic work are really incredible because they have to react and really actually capture the moment, right?
Yeah.
And compose everything correctly and, try to make it work. And of course, for us, it's a different thing, right? We try to make everything really perfect. And because we can't afford to, then you just plan like an insane amount of planning so that when you're actually shooting, you can just focus on getting the best expressions from model, the best angle to capture whatever the model is like. With lenses, for me, I have between a 16 until all the way to 200 so a few different lenses, 16-35, and then I have the 50, and then I have the 70-200, and I also have a 100 macro. So it really depends. Like what you said about doing environment work, right? Concept art is a bit of a personal preference. Like certain shots, it just work better when you have wide angle because sometimes having dynamic or a bit of distortion, even on a person, is a bit interesting. But sometimes actually making the picture really flat, using like 200 I love to use that because a lot of paintings, they are usually a bit flatter in terms of just the way it's viewed, right? And it's painted. So I like to emulate that a lot. And I will do anywhere between like, say, 100 to 150 like very frequently. And then when I do really tight close-up portrait, sometimes I go up to 200. Yeah. So the best way to learn, I think, is, if do you have a kit lens?
I have, I'll tell you what I have. I have 1740. Which is the wide one. It's a slower one. It's I think f4. I have 2405, which is I got rid of the kit. Kit was terrible. Like, the quality was terrible. I got the red lenses. I've spoiled myself with like really professional equipment. That's just like finding no use, and now I
didn't
finally
know what to do with.
yeah, it's just like sitting there. Oh, can I use it? No, you're not, because it's heavy, and you're usually when you're going for lunch, you're not taking your equipment with you.
Yeah, it's tough.
Unless you do it like you want to really do it or travel a lot. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna travel a lot, and then I found myself working 4 jobs at once. So, but I do have 24 and 105, 35 and 35 prime. So that's the lenses I have.
Yeah, that's a pretty good range. Are you using a full frame camera or?
Yeah, I have the 5D.
Okay, 5D, cool. Yeah, so when I started, I had I think the first Canon Rebel, which is 350D. So it was like entry level cropped sensor. Oh, really? Yeah, it was so crappy. And I had a kit lens too. It was I think 1855. But
yeah,
But even that range, if you're super new, you can shoot at 18 and you can shoot, at like 30 or something. You can shoot 55 and you can see the difference of how he looks when you're shooting a person, full body, portrait or half body.